All right, folks, here we are down the creek today. These two branches of water, that one and that one, come together right here on the property to form 48 Creek. The reason it's called 48 Creek is because just over yonder, the Natchez Trace crossed here, and it was 48 miles to Florence, Alabama, and 48 miles to Columbia, Tennessee. 48 Creek, pretty awesome. So it's What It Is Wednesday. Happy What It Is Wednesday to everybody. Several weeks ago, we discussed bluegill for stocking the pond, and sunfish if we're just talking in general. But when we stock sunfish, we also stock what is known as shellcracker. So what we do is about 80 or 85% bluegill and 15 to 20% of shellcracker. Now shellcracker, when we talk about Latin names, is Lepomis microlophus. Lepomis microlophus. Sounds kind of ridiculous, right? Yeah. Anyway, we call them shellcracker because of what they eat on. They have these things in their mouth, these little crunchers that get in there, and they can pick up little mollusks and little snails, and they can crunch those up and they eat that mussel. Now, here's the thing. We diversify a little bit when we stock bluegill and shellcracker. We want more bluegill because they reproduce much better. The shellcracker, though, they don't compete in spawning. They spawn earlier, they spawn a little deeper, and they don't really compete with the bluegill for food. They're foraging a little bit different. So we spread out what is getting eaten on in the lake. So you're diversifying your population, which is really important. It also gives your bass something else to look at and forage on, which is the main goal. So we want those bass to constantly be eating. We want them to have as much and abundant forage as they can possibly have, and they're going to keep growing and doing very well. So when we talk about stocking, the two primary species we stock in the beginning are bluegill and shellcracker. Bluegill primarily at about 80 to 85% of the population. And then the shellcracker at about 15 to 20% of the population. Makes for wonderful catchability. The shellcracker are fun to catch. They get big. They're delicious to eat if you're into that. A lot of fun. Now, part two of What It Is Wednesday is what not to do when stocking small ponds. And one of those is not getting your truck stuck, especially when you've had something in the neighborhood of 787 inches of rain in the past 2 weeks, something like that. Lots of rain, lots of wet areas. And when you take a truck that is meant to be on the road and you put it off the road in a really wet area, well, just look at the pictures. Not a good idea. Anyway, What It Is Wednesday. Hope y'all enjoyed it. See y'all next Wednesday. Coming soon, we're going to talk a lot about more fish, but we're going to get in depth about herbicides and aquatic plant control and a lot of that too. So, What It Is Wednesday. Love it. See y'all next week.